And by the way, it's not just the claim that Iran is seconds away from a nuclear weapon that they're recycling here. It's maybe the oldest lie in American foreign policy you heard in those clips too, which is we need to do this because it's a despotic regime that is oppressing its own people. Now, this line is older than you may know. And the reason it's so distressing, it's so cynical, is because it plays upon Americans' best quality, which is decency. Americans hate despotism. They believe freedom is granted them and all people by God. And so a regime that oppresses its own people is inherently illegitimate. Americans are born believing that, and God willing, they always will believe that because it's true. So if you're trying to sell an illegitimate war, waged for reasons that had nothing to do with human rights at all, you would use that line, wouldn't you? Probably. Well, American policymakers have used that line, and we pulled some. You want to hear some? So this goes back, 61 years. Here's Lyndon Johnson, 1965, in a speech at Johns Hopkins, explaining that the war in Vietnam, which was just getting intense then, so 3 years from Tet, from the height, he said this: "Tonight, Americans and Asians are dying for a world where each people may choose its own path to change." So really, we're doing this for the Vietnamese people. Okay, now. Then Bush, George W. Bush, son of George H.W. Bush, said this right before the Iraq War started, and we're quoting, "We have no ambition in Iraq except to remove a threat and restore control of that country to its own people." Right. We did that for human rights reasons. We just wanted democracy in Iraq. Did that happen? The Christian population was annihilated? Hundreds of thousands of people died? And political control was turned over to the Ayatollahs in Iran? No. But he said it anyway. And so did Dick Cheney, by the way. "My belief," he said in the lead up to the Iraq War, "is that we will be greeted as liberators. The vast majority of Iraqis would respond favorably to an effort to rid the country of Saddam's regime." Well, someone who happened to be in Baghdad in December of 2003, the day we caught Saddam at Tikrit, I can attest to what you already know, which is that's where the insurrection started. But Barack Obama, even 3 years after getting elected president, having been thoroughly briefed and had to lie, in 2011 said this about the bombing of Libya and the murder of our sometime ally and CIA asset, Muammar Gaddafi, quote, "This is a plea for help from the Libyan people themselves. They're desperate for it. Regime change in Libya," said Barack Obama, "would serve America's, quote, broader goal of a Libya that belongs not to a dictator, but to its people." What can you do but laugh? It's so absurd. It's such an obvious lie. It's like Bibi Netanyahu saying, "They're minutes away." As long as people believe this or are so polite they pretend to believe it,